Hey, this is Kevin with Sustainable Keto. Today I'm going to do a video, kind of time lapse because we're going to do two parts, but I'm going to do a video on how to use the Sous Vide. And we use the Sous Vide all the time, Sean and I, basically every day. We use it for our steaks or lamb chops or whatever at night. And so essentially we fill it up, once a day at least. And then we cook, and then it might just keep running 24/7, which does a lot. And then we just replace the meat every day, and then we have it the next day. So today I've got some leg of lamb steaks that I got from Walmart, and I just wanted to show you how I season them and then how I load them into the sous vide. It's very, very easy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in today, and it's about 4 o'clock p.m. here. And I'm going to put it in for like 24, 26 hours and just let it cook. And then when it's dinner time tomorrow, whenever we get hungry, we'll just take it out and put it in. And the concept would be, if I wanted to, I could just load up another couple pieces of meat for the next day. So it makes it really, really easy. So let me show you what I've got here. I have 2 leg of lamb steaks, right? Very good price, $8.51. Got these at Walmart. I went ahead and defrosted them, but you don't necessarily have to. A lot of times I can just take them right when I load them up, I'll season them and put them in the freezer and then just put them straight in the sous vide and cook it that way. But in this case, they're already defrosted, so I'll take them out. So I've got 2 pieces, as you can see here. And what I'm going to season it with is I've got some Montreal steak seasoning, some basil, and some rosemary. Pretty simple, and just a little bit of butter. Okay? So what I do here is I grab a paper towel. So lid on that side here. Okay. So the first thing you do is go ahead and get the meat out. Make sure these Ziploc bags are open. So drop them right in. Meat. And the Ziploc bag. See, a lot of people will use the shrink wrap or the ones that you shrink right around, the plastic you shrink around the meat. I found that you don't necessarily have to do that. We did get one, but we don't really use it because it didn't really seal as well as I like anyway. And come to find out, you don't necessarily need to go through all that mess in order to make the sous vide work. Alright, so the second piece of meat out. One thing about working with it frozen is it's not as messy, but it's defrosted, so it'll. One thing about being defrosted, if I did want to eat this tonight, we could, because it's going to go for 2 hours, and it would be ready. But what I found is if it goes for more than 4 hours, and if it's like 24 hours, it is really tender and really good to eat. So I like to let it go a whole day. It's basically kind of like your slow cooker, right? Your food's ready whenever you want it. And since we only eat when we're hungry, we don't always have a planned meal time. It's good to have it food always at the ready, so you can just pull it out and then put the reverse sear on your meat and then serve it up. So it's very, very tender. So back to the work here. Okay, so you can see I have meat in the package. Now what I'll do is just go ahead and season it. So I'll start with this Montreal steak seasoning. And I'm just going to put it on liberally. Flip it over. Again. The second steak as well. And then kind of rub that in. So well, next the basil. A little bit. Flip it over. Do that again. Rub that in. This isn't rocket science, as you can see. It's pretty straightforward. And then finally, the rosemary. enough. It'll take a lot. Pretty good stuff. Rosemary goes a long way. Do a lot of steaks with it. Alright, so it's seasoned. Next thing I do is I'm going to add just a little pat of butter to each one. Drop it right on top. Alright, so far we've got our steak seasoned, we've got it in the bag, and we'll go over here and show you the sous vide unit. So this is our sous vide, and you see we went ahead and have upgraded and gotten the sous vide pot, which is just basically a plastic pot, and we put a rack in it as well. We went in and purchased the rack so this holds the meat in place for you. I need to add a little bit of water to it, and I'll do that here in a little bit. This is the sous vide unit. It's not plugged in yet, but I'll plug that in here in a little bit and we'll see how that works. But let's go ahead and get the steaks in. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, leaving the bags a little bit open here, I'm just going to take it and drop it between the racks, like so, and push it down and let the water push the air out, right? So now it's created like a seal. That's why you don't need to have a special sealer. The water kind of does it for you. And I'll just close the bag. All right. And then we'll add another one. Do the same thing. Just take it and drop it between the racks. Push it down so all the air gets pushed out, and that keeps it from floating so much, right? And all we got to do is close it. Alright, the water level is actually pretty good, but I might add just a little bit more. Hold on just a moment here. So we really like lamb. Lamb is really, it's a fantastic red meat. It's got a great protein profile and everything. So now I've added the steaks to the sous vide. Right? This is really fairly easy so far. Well, let me turn this around. I'm not sure that you'll be able to see this forwards, but you'll get the concept here. So now I'm just going to take it and plug it in. All right, and it comes up. Now I've got it set for 137 degrees. I'm not sure if you can see that directly, but then I'm going to set the time for, I'm just going to let go for like 30 hours, because that way it won't quit early. Before we're ready to eat, it'll just keep going. So 30 hours, that's good. So set it at 137 degrees, and then I just hit start. And what this is going to do is this is going to just circulate the water while it's heating it. It's going to get it to 137 degrees, and it's going to be like within 0.1 or 0.2 degrees that whole time for 30 hours. Well, once it gets set up, it'll start. The timer will go off and say it's going. And then it's just going to run for as long as you've got it set for, and keep it at that temperature. In this case, it's 137 degrees, which is kind of on the upper end of medium rare. And then when we're ready to eat, we'll just take it out. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it there, and I'll be back shortly, like tomorrow, and then show you what the steak looks like and what the next step is. Okay, so it has been about 24 hours. The sous vide's been running. I'm going to go ahead and take it out. I'm just going to show you that process now. So here we go. Come over here and show you. This is the sous vide as it is now. You can see the temperature. It's 136.7 is what it's saying. Set at 137. So stay within a couple degrees of that. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is take the meat out and get it prepped for the reverse sear. So let's go ahead and get that going. Down here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to unplug the sous vide. And next thing to do is take out the meat. And what I've got is a little bowl to capture the juice from the meat, because that's useful. You can use it to make soups or stews or whatever, so it's very useful. Actually, a lot of times I will sip it. I'll put it in a cup and sip it, because it's actually where all the nutrients are from the meat. So it's really useful stuff. So I'll just go ahead and pour that in there. And I'm going to drop the meat in my little plate here. See here. Next one. Do the same thing again with the second piece. Drain it. Drop the meat on the plate. We'll just throw these away. Alright, so the next step is the meat's on the plate here. And you see it's kind of brown. Doesn't look that appetizing. But when we do the reverse sear, it's going to be really nice. And the next step is I want to get the moisture off this meat. So I got a paper towel here. And I'm just going to kind of soak up the moisture without taking off the seasoning, right? Because the seasoning is important. Well, you see how tender that is? I just pick it up and it falls apart. So I mean, you don't even need a steak knife to cut this. It just falls apart. Which is what you're going for with sous vide, right? That's what you're looking for, some really tender meat. And my goodness, we got it. We got tender meat. Put that over and do the other side. Nice and dry, looks good. So now I'm going to take this outside to our, I've got a little grill set up just for this to do the reverse sear. Okay, so I have moved outside and now I have this little portable grill that I have. It's a little propane grill that I use. And a lot of times I will take some aluminum foil and put some wood chips in there and put it under there so you can get a little bit of the smoke. Now, I used to do this in the house. I have some cast iron pans I do. And I would put some like tallow or lard on the bottom of the pan and get it really screaming hot and do the reverse sear that way, and that works really good. The one problem is it would cause a lot of smoke. So this was my idea would be this takes the smoke outside. So it's not in the house, I'm not setting off the smoke alarm, not scaring the neighbors, etc. So here I have this grill, nice and hot now. See that okay? I'll go ahead and put the meat on there. Sizzle there really good. This one is so tender it just falls apart. That's not a bad thing. Alright, so I'll just go ahead and let that brown, not so appetizing look change to a more appealing seared version. So the idea here is we want it to be really hot so it'll cook the outside and then not change the temperature of the inside, right? So that's kind of the purpose there. So you just get the fat seared and the outside skin seared. And I'll flip it over in just a minute and then you'll see what it looks like after that. Alright, so I just flipped it over and you can see the sides a little bit darker. And we'll do it again, we'll just let it sear. And if you have like a cut of meat that's got like a piece of fat on the sides or whatever, I would recommend, in this case here we have a little bit on this side, just for a few seconds just to take it and put it on the side like that and let that fat just burn, let it get, let that gristle turn brown, like this, the fat turn brown, and it just has an amazing taste when you do that. That over. It's so tender it just falls apart. It's a pretty good example of how the sous vide really makes your meat tender. It just falls apart. Just picking it up. Go ahead and do that side, get over that fat. Don't have to do it very long. Just Kind of brown it. All right, I think that's pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that off. Put it back to my, transfer it back to my plate. These little pieces. Alright, we'll just take it in and cut it up and just see what it looks like what the finished product looks like. Okay, so now I have got a place where I can video it while I cut into it, so you'll be able to see what it looks like. I'm just looking forward to this. This smells really good. Alright, so you notice I'm not using a steak knife, I'm using a butter knife and a fork. You saw it falling apart just on picking it up off the grill. So I'll just cut into it here. See it? It's not a little bit less pink than I like, but that's alright, it's still good. And then we'll take a bite. I like it. I just love lamb. I have a fan down here. Yep, Pika wants some. But there you go. There we have it. We have sous vide leg of lamb. It's fantastic, and I can't. We're gonna have it for dinner, so I gotta not eat anymore. So we all have enough. All right, thanks, and have a great day.